Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to this morning's Srimad Bhagavatam class. It's third canto, which is entitled The Status Quo, Chapter 1, Questions by Vidura. And this morning we're doing text 32. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Grace Anandarupa Mataji has joined. Yeah, so now she's ready because I wasn't quite sure whether she was going to join. But anyway, so we're happy to welcome Mataji, Her Grace Anandarupa Das ISKCON DC to give the class. Hare Krishna, Mataji, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, dear devotees, please accept my most humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the Purushottam-mas. So let us begin with Jai Radha Madhav prayers. I have here my keyboard. I'm going to see if it's audible. If it is not, you can just raise hand and I will put it away. Hare Krishna. Jai Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaridhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaridhari. Yashodanandana Prachana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Prachana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanchari. Jamuna Tira Vanchari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Jai Om Vishnupad Parahans Parivrajakacarya Ashtotar Shat Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Parahans Parivrajakacarya Ashtotar Shat Srimad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय, मायापुर धाम की जय, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, गंगा माई की जय, जमुना माई की जय, भक्तिमयी तुलसी देवी की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, Shri Purushottam-mas ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiriyet. Shravtam swakatha Krishna punya shravana kirtana hridayantasto hya bhadrani vidunoti sarhatsatam nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagvat sevaya Bhagavate Ruttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. Dear devotees, today we are resuming from Canto 3, Chapter 1, and we will be reading from text number 32. So last Friday, text 31 was covered. Today we are doing 32. And first Sanskrit, followed by translation and purport. Kaccid buddha svasty anamīva āste śvaphalka-putro bhagavat-prapannaḥ kṛṣṇa-pādāṅkita-mārga-pāṁsuṣv aceṣṭata prema-vibhinna-dhairyaḥ kaccid buddha svasty anamīva āste śvaphalka-putro bhagavat-prapannaḥ kṛṣṇa-pādāṅkita-mārga-pāṁsuṣv aceṣṭata prema-vibhinna-dhairyaḥ kaccid buddho svasty anamīva āste śvaphalka-putro bhagavat-prapannaḥ kṛṣṇa-pādāṅkita-mārga-pāṁsuṣv aceṣṭata prema-vibhinna-dhairyaḥ. Hare Krishna.
Kaccid buddha svasty anamīva āste śvaphalka-putro bhagavat-prapannaḥ kṛṣṇa-pādāṅkita-mārga-pāṁsuṣv aceṣṭata prema-vibhinna-dhairyaḥ. Hare Krishna.
Anyone else?
Kaccid buddha svasty anamīva āste śvaphalka-putro bhagavat-prapannaḥ yah kṛṣṇa-pādāṅkita-mārga-pāṁsuṣv aceṣṭata prema-vibhinna-dhairyaḥ. Hare Krishna.
All right. We'll do synonyms and trans. Kaccid, whether. Buddha, very learned. Svasty, well. Anamīva, faultless. Āste, does not exist. śvaphalka-putra, the son of śvaphalka, Akrūra. Bhagavat, regarding the personality of Godhead. Prapanna, surrendered. One who. Kṛṣṇa, the Lord. Pādāṅkita, marked with footprints. Marg, path. Pāṁsuṣv, in the dust. Aceṣṭata, rolled about. Prema-vibhinna, lost in transcendental love. Dhairya, mental equilibrium. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please tell me whether Akrūra, the son of śvaphalka, is doing well. He is faultless, soul surrendered unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He once lost his mental equilibrium due to his ecstasy of transcendental love and fell down on the dust of a road which was marked with footprints of Lord Kṛṣṇa. Purport. Jai Srila Prabhupada. When Akrūra came to Vrindavan in search of Kṛṣṇa, he saw the footprints of the Lord on the dust of Nandagram and at once fell on them in ecstasy of transcendental love. This ecstasy is possible for a devotee who is fully absorbed in incessant thoughts of Kṛṣṇa. Such a pure devotee of the Lord is naturally faultless because he is always associated with the supremely pure personality of Godhead. Constant thought of the Lord is the antiseptic method for keeping oneself free from the infectious contamination of material qualities. The pure devotee of the Lord is always in company with the Lord by thinking of him. Yet, in the particular context of time and space, place, the transcendental emotions take a different turn, and this breaks the mental equilibrium of the devotee. Lord Chaitanya displayed the typical example of transcendental ecstasy, as we can understand from the life of this incarnation of God. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sa Padantikam. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tadaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj. Panchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Shri Guru Vrinda ki Jai. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for this opportunity today for ongoing Shravan and Kirtan from Canto 3, Chapter 1. So this Canto 3 is titled The Status Quo. And the other day somebody asked me this question: how should we understand title of this canto with context to what this chapter is titled? What is happening here? So one beautiful way to understand this is many of us are familiar that due to the massive upheaval of the Kurukshetra war, the world appeared externally shattered. There were many kingdoms which were destroyed. There were families broken. And the population, the praja, the people, they were confused about the future. So now when we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, it reveals to us deeper truths about the situation at that time and the current times also. So even when the external world changes dramatically, what is the eternal reality of soul and soul's relationship with Supreme Lord? Jivera Swarup Hoy, Krishnera Nityadas, that remains unchanged. And that is the real status quo. And this chapter 1 is especially beautiful because it is called Questions by Vidur. And if you remember my past talks I have presented, I have stressed, I have tried to present this beautiful awareness that spiritual life begins not with pretending to know everything, but with asking sincere questions like Vidur is doing. And in modern culture, people often feel disturbed or exhausted by noise. So much information there is there, and there is, in many areas, there is instability. So now devotees or spiritual seekers or aspirants, they are recommended to pause and ask deeper questions. When they read these pastimes, they should reflect, who am I beyond my roles? What actually nourishes my heart? And what remains permanent when everything external changes? So when we are specifically reading the text, the beautiful wisdom in this chapter titled Enquiries of Vidur, we are learning about Vidur's journey, and it shows us that transformation begins when even our curiosity, our questions, they become spiritual. So this third canto is like an invitation for all of us. So whatever may be our situation, whatever may be our background, whatever adversities, anukul or pratikul, kripa of the Lord. So amidst all chaos of life, let us rediscover the eternal function or foundation of the soul. And so this is a living spiritual journey relevant to everyone. So let's go back to this translation and purport and the background. I will very quickly touch on the background in case some of you are joining after a while. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is narrated by Srila Shukdev Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit is cursed to leave the body in 7 days. And so this is a divine conversation. So at a high level, Srila Shukdev Goswami is narrating to Maharaj Parikshit, and we are also reading conversation between Vidur and Uddhav. Okay. And then there is reference that there is conversation between Maitreya and Vidur going on, in which this conversation is being referred. So this entire Srimad Bhagavatam, in this reading, we will see there are many sacred inquiries. There are sincere spiritual questions which are presented with a lot of humility and care and love. So now, I also touched on this last time, that third canto, up to third canto. In first canto, we read that Kurukshetra war concluded and Lord Kṛṣṇa, he protected the Pandavas, Bhishma Dev departed, and Krishna returns to Dwarka. And eventually Maharaj Parikshit is cursed to die, which I mentioned before. And in second canto, very important, Parikshit Maharaj asks a very important question, and I identified that last time. Many of you are familiar, but I would love to hear from one of you. What was that question? Maharaj Parikshit asks Shukdev Goswami, as a result of which further Shukdev Goswami narrated the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. Please go ahead. Yes, Monica Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, the question was that what one should do when he knows that he's going to die in 7 days. What will be the goal of life?
Very good, very good.
Thank
So,
you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So what should a person hear, chant, remember, and do at the time? I mean, before death, already there should be preparation. So then Shukdev Goswami, he shares, he gradually unfolds the beautiful, deeply absorbing pastimes of the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Now, in the third canto, as we are seeing, the narration is shifting to deeply emotional sections centered on separation from Krishna and transmission of transcendental knowledge. So who is in separation from Krishna here? Who is experiencing that? One of you, please quickly say the name. Yes, go ahead. Hare Krishna. Anyone remembers from past readings? Who is the conversation between going on in this chapter? Anyone can recap and speak up?
Vidura and Uddhava?
Yes, very good. So Uddhav is experiencing the separation, and in that conversation they're having, there is transmission of transcendental knowledge for them as well as us, we readers. And so why did Vidur leave home? Anyone else? Why did Vidur leave home? You don't have to be like very on the dot and list all the reasons, but anything if you remember. Why did Vidur leave the royal life? Yes, Monica Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, he was humiliated by Duryodhana. In
So
the
in that humiliation, he
action.
makes a choice. He was insulted, but because of his deep integrity and devotion, he left the palace rather than participate in adharma. And where does he go? He goes on pilgrimage, he goes to holy places, he purifies his heart and experiences detachment further from worldly politics. And what is the lesson for us in that? When the world becomes poisoned by envy and politics, what do devotees do? They seek shelter in sadhu, guru, shastra, hari katha, pilgrimage, whatever they can do. And when Vidur returns after the war is over, most of the Kuru dynasty is destroyed, the Rashtra is spiritually shattered, and Yudhishthir Maharaj is ruling. And Vidur, out of his compassion, what does he do? He instructs Dhritarashtra. He tells him about temporary nature of body, about the inevitable death, about detachment, and prepare for spiritual perfection. And while he is giving him this wonderful insight and guiding him, Duryodhan, he does not like that, and he humiliates Vidur. So now Vidur leaves and his heart naturally moves towards Krishna Katha. He travels and finally meets Uddhav. And Uddhav is one of the intimate associates of the Lord. He has directly witnessed Krishna's final manifest pastimes on the earth, and he carries this pain of separation from the Lord. So that is why his mood is of deep remembrance and devotion, and that is a beautiful message for all of us. And so Vidur now asks him many questions. He asks him, if you see from verses 2 to 31, he is asking about Yadavas, Pandavas, devotees of the Lord, Krishna's associates. Last Friday we talked about Satyaki. And these are not some ordinary gossip questions. So I talked in length about how successful people, successful devotees or genuine devotees, they are always meditating on name, form, activities of pastimes, and they are also glorifying the devotees of the Lord. And here Vidur is asking how all these devotees are doing, how they are connected to Krishna. That's his meditation. Because a devotee always sees every person according to their relationship with Krishna. So thus every inquiry becomes spiritual. So now we also talked about what does a spiritually healthy heart naturally speak about, because this whole chapter is about inquiries. So we should try to meditate on that, remember that, and because whatever fills the heart eventually comes out through our words, questions, conversations. Recently we observed Holy Festival at ISKCON of DC. And we are very well aware that there are so many Rath Yatras going on all around the world in different areas. And we also observed Lord Nrsimhadev's celebration, right? Appearance Day last month, 30th. I think it was April 30th. And now what is happening? This is the Purushottam Mass going on. So we see devotees, they come together, they join hands in serving in temples, cooking for the Lord, cooking, cleaning, caring even at home duties, home services, and all the while they're also managing their jobs, families. There are so many responsibilities, and there is so much unpredictable in life too. So naturally, a question comes, what keeps devotees spiritually grounded amidst so much change and activity? So this pastime or any other pastimes we read from Srimad Bhagavatam, we should try to see what is the mood behind all these pastimes. And so, because external world is always changing, festivals come and go, right? Emotions rise and fall. We read about dualities, right? Bhagavad Gita talks about it. Bhagavatam also talks about it, so that we understand what's happening in life. Life can be busy and situations can be uncertain. But what is constant? The eternal constant is soul's relationship with Krishna. And in this chapter, because we are reading all these questions and we are seeing what is Vidur doing, and so it's natural that we should think how spiritual life begins amidst all things going on in life. When we sincerely pause and ask deeper questions, when there are inquiries, like I said before, what truly nourishes my heart? How do I stay spiritually connected? How do I stay in remembrance of Krishna? Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And so, especially in this month, there is falshruti, there is a recommendation to find as much possible time into that deeper reflection. And so Vidur's inquiry shows us that once one sincere spiritual question can begin, or we can resume an entire spiritual journey. And here, the background is very emotional, right? So up to verse 31, Vidur has talked about how is Vasudev, how is Balram, how is Yadu dynasty, how are many other devotees connected to Krishna. And now in this text 32 is talking about Akrūra and ecstasy of Akrūra. Vidur says, please tell me whether Akrūra, the son of Śvaphalka, is doing well. And it's mentioned, he is faultless because he has surrendered to the Lord. Once he lost external consciousness in ecstasy and fell onto the dust marked with Krishna's footprints. And for many of us, we have read Krishna book. If not, we have gone in sequence up to Canto 10, but Prabhupada recommended everybody can read Krishna book. And there is a chapter dedicated to Akrūra's journey to Vrindavan. And he has gone there on order of Kans to get Krishna and Balram. So now Akrūra, it's described, Akrūra comes to Vrindavan searching for Krishna, and before even seeing Krishna directly, he sees Lord's footprints in the dust of Vraja. And what happens is he immediately falls to the ground in ecstasy. So, many devotees, first time when they go to Vrindavan, they see a lot of pollution there. Open drains and whatnot, everything, and dust everywhere. So to ordinary eyes, it is dust. But to the eyes anointed with pulp of love, this is language is coming from Brahma Samhita, it is a direct contact with the beloved Lord. And this is one symptom of bhakti, Srila Prabhupada explains. So love changes perception. So I really love how Prabhupada uses very powerful metaphors. He says, he gives a very practical metaphor in this purport. He says, remembrance of Krishna acts like antiseptic. Just as, what does antiseptic do? It protects a wound from infection. So how do we relate to constant remembrance of Krishna? It protects, the constant remembrance of Krishna protects consciousness from contamination. Contamination of what? Contamination of what? Anyone? Hare Krishna. Which contamination are we talking about here? Anyone? Just please speak up. Any thoughts?
Hare Krishna Mataji, contamination from the impact of material world.
Very good. Very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. So I feel nice if someone, comes up and shares their thoughts. And I get the impetus too, to continue with, the enthusiasm with which the whole flow is going. So participation is good. So just like antiseptic protects a wound from infection, constant remembrance of Krishna protects consciousness from contamination. And so I'm going to talk about how we do that. And many of us are already familiar because we are practicing in all different ways for that. But let us see what are the symptoms for which we need to do that. Our minds are constantly exposed to, there are many reasons to experience anxiety, social comparison, criticism, negativity. There are endless distractions. But if the mind is left unprotected, it becomes spiritually infected. Yesterday, I and my husband, I don't know, somehow I was inspired to discuss with him what are the symptoms of uncontrolled mind. There is whole mind management wisdom in Bhagavad Gita as well as Srimad Bhagavatam. Normally, nobody would like to admit that they have uncontrolled mind. But these are the symptoms of uncontrolled mind: anxiety, negativity, criticism, endless distraction. So now by hearing and remembering Krishna, it cleanses our consciousness. Cheto darpan marjanam. Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is Chaitanya Sri Shikshashtakam, 8 verses which identify and give the solution for cleansing the mirror of the mind or mind, and what are the glories of the holy names. So basically it's about glories of the holy names as a solution for cleansing our heart and mind. So hearing and remembering Krishna cleanses consciousness. And Srila Prabhupada would often say Krishna consciousness is a cleansing process. And he would say, chant Hare Krishna. And what did he say? Chant Hare Krishna and
Be
your
happy.
life. Chant and be happy. And he would say, chant Hare Krishna and your life will become sublime. Why did he say that? Because consciousness becomes shaped by association. That is why there is so much glory of sadhu sangha. So if we associate with fear constantly, what happens? Fear grows. If we associate with envy, envy grows. If we associate with Krishna and Krishna's devotees and Krishna conscious activities, which are through hearing, chanting, and sadhu sangha, purity gradually awakens. Okay, so how many of you would have loved to associate with Srila Prabhupada? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. I mean, his instructions are there, but let us say, there is Vani and Vapu. Vapu, how many of you would have liked to have Srila Prabhupada's Vapu association? So at least I see some hands, maybe some others understand that and want to, but are shy. That is okay. All of us would have wanted. And how many of you would have liked to have Lord Kṛṣṇa's association when he was performing pastimes here? How many? Hare Krishna. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lord Kṛṣṇa's personal association. Only 4, 5, 6. Wonderful. Rest are shy. That's okay. So, how do we get that? Well, Srila Prabhupada's association is right here in his purports, in his teachings through Vani. And likewise, Lord Kṛṣṇa's association, his mercy, his love is there for us in this Srimad Bhagavatam, the literary incarnation of the Lord, the holy names, his mercy in the prasadam, right? and of course the empowered devotees of the Lord, who are so compassionate and so kind. They are constantly keeping us in remembrance of the Lord. And so Srila Prabhupada once explained that a devotee does not become purified merely by external scholarship, but by sincere remembrance and service. And he gave the example that when iron is placed in fire, what is that example? It gradually acts like fire. Similarly, when our consciousness remains connected to Krishna, the heart gradually takes on divine qualities because it gets purified. And here, Vidur is saying Akrūra is faultless. Why? Not because he was artificially perfect, but because Akrūra's consciousness was absorbed in Krishna. And this gives great hope to all of us. You know, it is recommended to perform devotional service with attention, with affection, with absorption. And there are two more A's. There are 5 A's. Attention, affection, absorption. Well, if I remember the other 2 A's, I will share with you, but these 3 are good enough for us to understand that is what Krishna loves. He is looking for devotion. Okay, so bhakti is not about pretending to be extraordinary. It is about staying connected sincerely, with attention, with affection, in deep absorption. So now, at the end of the purport, Srila Prabhupada says something deep, profound. He explains that although a pure devotee is always internally connected with Krishna, sometimes due to a particular time, place, or remembrance, the devotee's emotions suddenly intensify so deeply that normal external composure breaks. How do we understand this? We should not take it as sign of material instability. This is transcendental absorption. Our acharyas explain that. Akrūra was always devoted to Krishna, but when he came to Vrindavan and actually saw the dust carrying Krishna's footprints, what happened to him? His love surged intensely and he lost awareness of external world. Have you ever seen during the Diti Darshan in temple, you know, when the it's house full and grand aarti is being offered, and there are so many souls who just stand wonderstruck, taking darshan of the Lord, and tears are flowing from their eyes. They're not making a show. They genuinely, they have no control. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would sometimes cry uncontrollably. He would faint, he would speak to the ocean as if it were Yamuna, or become overwhelmed hearing Krishna's name. When we read Chaitanya Charitamrita or Chaitanya Bhagavat, you know, this is all described there. So what were these symptoms? Why? He's Supreme Lord himself. But, you know, of course, he is going through the emotions, Radharani experience. So he has no control over that. But divine remembrance becomes so real and concentrated that heart could no longer remain externally restrained. And in Bhagavad Gita, I was preparing for this talk. I found a verse in chapter 2. And that verse talks about the higher vision, higher taste. Param drishtva nivartate. One gives up lower experience upon experiencing higher taste. So bhakti is not dry suppression. The heart is meant to experience a higher taste. Look at this. This is so beautiful. Even in our enquiries, we can experience higher taste. Not that we are wanting to experience, but that higher taste happens. And also what happens? The vision, higher vision develops. So when higher spiritual taste becomes very intense, ordinary world awareness naturally fades into background, just as a person deeply absorbed in grief or love or joy, temporarily they forget everything else. So this is what we learn in the scriptures. But in pure devotees, the absorption is centered on Krishna. And therefore, it becomes spiritually enlightening rather than materially bewildering. So that is why, you will find many motivational speakers talking about from bewilderment to enlightenment. So this verse gives us a glimpse into the reality that devotion is not merely philosophy to understand. It is ultimately love to be experienced. So now let's come back to Vidur, our favorite character, our beautiful pastime, which is going on here. What is the hidden teaching for us here, like all other verses? This verse is not only glorifying Akrūra, it is also revealing the heart of Vidur. What kind of person asks such questions, right? In our day-to-day interactions, sometimes, with our exchanges, sometimes we think, what kind of person does this kind of thing? So here, what kind of person asks such questions? A spiritually awakened person. And Vidur teaches us that the advanced devotees are recognized not merely by what they know, but by what they naturally remember and speak about. What is that famous verse from Chatushloki Gita, which reminds you what I just shared? The devotees who are always, what are they doing? Anybody remembers? You don't have to speak the Sanskrit verse, but anything you remember from the meaning of that verse? Okay, I will leave it as an open question. You can think about it till I conclude the talk. And if you remember it, you can let me know. Okay? And I will, of course, share about it. So now we are talking about Vidur. Vidur teaches us that advanced devotees are recognized not merely by what they know, but by what they naturally remember and speak about. And his questions themselves are devotional service. So especially during this Purushottam month, this becomes so deeply meaningful. Purushottam Mas or Purushottam month, if you read its glories, it is our opportunity to purify even more. It's called Adhik Mas, more. Adhik means more. So it invites us to purify our time, our conversations, our attention, our remembrance of the Lord and his devotees. And so we can ask ourselves, what fills my conversations most? Okay. Is it politics? Is it complaints? It is grievances? Is it anxiety? Or is it remembrance of Lord and his devotees? So Vidur shows that even inquiries can become bhakti when it nourishes remembrance of Krishna. So today's verse has two beautiful truths, at least. Number one, Akrūra teaches us that a heart absorbed in Krishna becomes spiritually transformed. And Vidur teaches us that a spiritually nourished heart naturally seeks, what does it seek? Krishna Katha and Sadhu Sangha, devotee association. So especially in this Purushottam Mas, we should pray. We should, Akrūra is famous for Vandanam. He is an example who perfected Vandanam. The Navvida Bhakti, 9 process of devotional service, Prahlad Maharaj, he answers his father. Hiranyakashipu asks him, what did you learn in school? And Prahlad says, What does he says? Shravanam kirtanam Vishnu smaranam pad sevanam archanam vandanam dasyam sakhyam atma nivedanam. So Shravanam, who is the example who perfected that? Shravanam, anybody knows? I would like to quickly ask, and you all can keep responding so we may go fast and conclude the call.
Parikshit Maharaj.
Very good. Shravanam. Kirtanam, Shukdev Goswami.
Good.
Yes. Smaranam, Vishnu Smaranam, Prahlad Maharaj. Okay. So Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam. Who do we think of? Pada Sevanam, Lakshmi ji. She is always serving lotus feet of the Lord. So Pada Sevanam, then Archanam, Prithu Maharaj is exemplified, glorified. So Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam is Akrūra. For his prayers he offered. And then we have other examples. So now Vidur teaches us that a spiritually nourished heart naturally seeks Krishna Katha and devotee association. And so we do desire, aspire to be sincere in our services, loving services to the Supreme Lord and his devotees. And we should pray. We should pray that we fill our homes, minds, and conversations with remembrance of Krishna. So, because when remembrance becomes deep, even the dust connected with the Lord becomes nectar for the soul. Why am I talking about dust here? Hare Krishna, anyone? Why did I mention the dust here? See, the translation says, Akrūra once lost his mental equilibrium due to his ecstasy of transcendental love and fell down on the dust of a road which was marked with footprints of Lord Kṛṣṇa. That is when he went to invite him from Vraj, So even when he fell down on the dust of the road, he experienced transcendental ecstasy because Lord walked on that dust. His footprints were there. Now you see. So I hope everybody will remember this and try to meditate on this, internalize that. When our remembrance becomes deep, even the dust connected to Lord becomes nectar for the soul. Now the question is, how can our remembrance become deep? That response I need from all of you. Few points. First of all, how to always remember, and how can our remembrance become deep? Please raise your hand. Hare Krishna. Some responses would be really appreciated. We have almost ended the talk here. Yes, Niru Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, we can always remember Krishna if we are constantly engaged in the service, or we don't miss any opportunity of getting sadhu sangha.
Okay, wonderful, very nice. Monica Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I was thinking of the age also, that when you said 5 ways, Ashraya, taking Ashraya of the spiritual master and Krishna, Lord Krishna, and this will help us in advancing in our Bhakti Gata.
All right. Yeah, so let's come to a little lower level. The Bhakti Lata concept and Ashray are very good responses, but let's come a little bit to the level of practically, how can we talk about this even to those who don't have concept of this, or, So, Dhir Krishna Prabhu, please share.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, I think the most important thing is the association, like you mentioned, the good association. So because they will keep us reminding, devotees will keep us reminding even if we forget.
Okay.
So, and they will keep us they will continue to give us the guidance also, how in our, whatever we are doing, whatever situation we are in, how can we navigate through that. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
These are good points. So, Monica Mataji, taking Ashray of Guru and you're watching out for Bhakti Lata, I want to ask everyone, how does taking ashray of a guru, or a well-wisher, like Dhir Krishna Prabhu said, in Sadhu Sangha, how does that help us in deep remembrance? How does that happen? What is the missing piece there? If in case any of you are wondering, how does that happen? Ashray means shelter, taking shelter, means taking association. It all comes down to Sadhu Sangha and what we do in that Sadhu Sangha, right? So what do we do in Sadhu Sangha? Like I mentioned earlier several times, we don't gossip, right? We are chanting the glories of the Lord. Name, form, activities, pastimes, Nam, Roop, Guna, Leela. And also we are glorifying the associates or the devotees of the Lord, pure devotees of the Lord. And in this way, we are nourishing the creeper of devotional service, right? Monica Mataji mentioned that point. The creeper of devotional service, which we have kindly received. Bhakti Lata Bij, the seed of devotional service, we have received by the mercy, by taking ashray of a guru. And then it is our responsibility, with the help of devotees, we nurture that. We become gardeners. And so the way we nurture that is by constantly hearing and chanting about the glories of the Lord and his devotees, and protecting our Bhakti Lata from the weeds and the wild animals of offenses, aparads. So there are different aparads: seva aparad, nam aparad, Vaishnava aparad. So we become careful of that. And sometimes we are very weak with that, meaning we are still working on our determination and our enthusiasm and our discrimination, who to associate with or not. So then who helps us with that constant guidance if we are not that elevated to connect with the direction of super soul from our heart? Who gives us the direction? Our well-wishing mentors, devotees, gurus, sadhu, guru, shastra, they help us. So in this way, everything works together for our spiritual nourishment, for our deep remembrance of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna, Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhagavad ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnavin ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. Are there any questions? I know there's been discussions through this, but still, if anybody has final questions, please unmute yourself.
Just a quick comment, Mataji. Thank you so much, because last night only I was hearing the Krishna book audio, and that chapter was playing Akrūra Maharaj's prayers. So now it's solidified in my heart, all the points. Thank you so much for a wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any more? Monica Mataji, you still have your electronic hand raised. Okay, if you want to ask questions, please go ahead. Okay, now you can.
Can I?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I was just thinking that in the present day life, can we take the instructions of the guru or spiritual master or senior devotee or a mentor as dust of the lotus feet of the Lord? Because when Prabhupada said that spiritual master is also is the servant of the Lord, and that is our direct connection with the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you. That's a very deep question. And I really appreciate you asked that question, though I am not the most qualified person to address this. But yes, we should. It is described several times in the sacred text we read that Guru is the external manifestation of the Supreme Lord, Paramatma. So we can realize God as Paramatma within our heart, within, and without means outside. So while someone is still going through stages of anartha nivritti, and they take ashray of a guru or mentor or well-wishing devotees, they should have the sincerity and obedience to follow their instructions for a rapid spiritual advancement. And Srila Rupa Goswami has described the principles of rapid spiritual advancement, the do's and don'ts. But regarding your question, can we take that as the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord? I know that I would, and I have done that. So, and there are two ways that can be done. That once you have an opportunity to physically serve in person, that's called Vapu, serve the spiritual master, or through Vani, through their instructions, through their words, when physical association is not possible. And that is taking the dust of their lotus feet on your head as blessing and mercy of Supreme Lord. Mercy of Lord flows through his devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Any final questions? Okay, if not, then Mataji, thank you for a wonderful class. And devotees this is the beginning of the week, at least weekday-wise. Have a wonderful Krishna Conscious Day and Krishna Conscious Week. Thank you all for coming. Vanchakalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Parikshit Prabhu, for this opportunity. And
Hare
thank you.